if average 5-year returns of equities is significantly higher than bonds, then why is it that 25-year or 30-year, the returns are so similar?
Right.
And that then becomes a question that if average returns of two asset classes, one is slightly better or then why is it that the better performing asset class doesn't do better over long periods of time? And I want to sort of talk about risk in a very different way.
Right.
If you look at, I use a term called drawdown, and drawdown is essentially a loss of your capital or a fall in the value of your portfolio. Right. Why I want to make this mention is that if you lose 10% of your capital, right, and you make back 10%, you're not back to the previous high.
Absolutely.
Right? Because start with 100, 10% down, you're 90. 10% up from 90, you're only at 99. You're not reached 100 again.
Correct.
Right? This is the thing about risk. That risk is not symmetric. A 10% drawdown is not the same as a 10% rally. If you have 10% fall, you need 11% gain to go back. If you have a 20% fall, 100 going to 80, you need 25% to go back. And God forbid if you have in 2008, when your market fell by 50%, then obviously you have to double to go back to the previous high, right? So falls and gains are not symmetric, even though we use so-called the arithmetic standard deviation to express risk. It is not symmetric, and that is why the riskier asset class, whenever once in 5 years, 10 years, when you have large drawdowns, maybe because of a COVID situation or a global financial crisis, it kind of eats away a large amount of previous outperformance, right? So this cannot be predicted. Could you have predicted COVID? No way. Yeah. Could you have predicted the GFC? Maybe some people did to some extent, but certainly not the extent of the crash of the markets. So I think it's important to have this in mind, that how do you manage your drawdowns in your portfolio? And when I say portfolio, it's not just equity portfolio or debt portfolio or total portfolio that we have.